So before we get into the carburetor, one thing that I want to make very apparent is I don't want there to be any confusion about what's what. This is not my car. This is my uncle's car. Uncle Chris, Aunt Angie. I just offered to do anything that I'm able to do and capable of doing to get this car back on the road. This is one of those opportunities, really for me, kind of selfishly, to just do what I truly believe in and what I base this channel off of, you know, giving life back to something that really doesn't have it. I also want to take you around at the end of this video and show you a little bit about this car, because I know when I posted it over on TikTok, you know, as the internet does, it just seems a little bit too unbelievable to be legit. But I hopefully can maybe put your mind at ease and as we go through this together. Anyway, we'll get to that at the end of the video. But first, carburetor. Got my New Balance on, so that means we're working on the Corvette. And what we're working on is the carburetor. This is tri-power setup. How this works basically is this is your primary and secondaries. So if you're familiar with a 4-barrel, it works basically the same, but you have, well, 1.5 times the barrels. We actually pulled all the ones that were on here when we rolled it out of the barn to these ones, which are what were said to be the original ones. And the float's stuck on this one. We have 6 carburetors here, 6 carburetors worth of parts. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna see if what I can break free, what I can break, and I don't know, we'll go from there. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this base plate and put that one on the better carb, clean this one up. I think that's just going to be the best option right now to get a good carb out of the ones that we have. That's actually a new gasket there. Looks like it's still in good shape, so let me get it cleaned up real quick. The reason being, this shaft was just gross and the bores were really bad on that other base. No, that float looks good. I just wanted to check since it was sitting here. Remember, aluminum, don't go crazy. Back to the garage. This is all free. And that's fine because it's just too cold to mess with it anyway. We did get some of the big stuff kind of pieced together from the parts that came with the car. There's a lot of extra stuff, which I'll talk about. And it should be okay, but to confirm that, you know, we're gonna need to fire the car. We got it to spit and sputter, but we couldn't fire it because it was just dumping fuel in, and it ended up, you know, getting down into the crankcase, even just in the few short seconds that we actually tried to roll the car over. Because of that, I'm gonna drain all the oil, of course. It still looks good. It's not as viscous as it should be, and it smells like fuel. Should actually be able to try and fire the car, assuming that everything else goes well. One thing I haven't said yet is there's just a lot of question marks still about this car. The health of the 427, you know, why is there 30 over pistons sitting here that are brand new, untouched, with rings, and rods sitting over here that are brand new and in their factory socks. You know, what was the reasoning behind this? And we can't exactly ask the old owner because unfortunately he's passed away. Before the questions come up, because I did post this car over on TikTok, you know how the internet is, people thought this was fake and staged. I understand the thought behind it, but The car was sitting under a big pile of tarps, which you can see in the back right-hand corner, and they had taken them off a couple days before that because my uncle did go see the car a handful of days before that. So why is it so clean? Not a speck of dust. Hang on, it didn't come across in the video. Let me show you. This is embedded from the plastic. Yeah, I mean, some of it's dirt, and because the plastic was sitting on this car just straight on top of the paint, you can see moisture got down and underneath the paint. Now these cars are fiberglass, so of course they're not gonna rust, but that is all over this car. And I still don't think it's coming across all that well. But yeah, there it goes. You can see it now. It's actually worked its way up to pop through the surface. So there's moisture on this that, I mean, look, it's coming through. And that's literally everywhere on the paint. I mean, you can see the bubbles as I work my way down the fender here, just from the plastic being on the car, which both kind of helped and hurt the car, truthfully, because you don't want to lay plastic right on paint. It can't breathe. So any moisture which is in the air, no matter what, unless you have a dehumidified or climate controlled garage, that moisture is just going to sit between the plastic and on top of the paint. The impurities are going to get there and just stick, and they're going to embed themselves in the paint, and things like this will happen. So you really have to have something breathable, like a blanket or something more specific to cars, put on top first, and then periodically airing the car out because they can't sit. But let's take a look at this interior, because I know some people thought that, wow, that's really, 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 really nice. And it is, but hang on. It may not come across real well, but there is some mold and mildew and, you know, some stuff working its way to the surface. And of course, this didn't show in the video before. That is mold and mildew. I promise it's here. So anyway, I hope that dispels some of the concerns, I guess I could say, and I understand them completely. I wouldn't believe it if I were anybody else. I truly wouldn't believe it. I don't know a ton about Corvettes. I know a little bit about the drivetrains. There's a lot of little details, as there is with really any car, that you kind of learn as you put your hands on them and you get used to them. We'll come back to the Trans Am, and if you're just joining us because of the Corvette, just keep in mind I do have a really cool Trans Am project. Well, I think it's cool. Trans Am project, a 404-speed 1975 project that I've been doing since basically the beginning of this channel. But I think that's going to do it because my hands are about frozen off. And I will see you when we hopefully get to fire the Corvette. Maybe even Trans Am. Maybe we'll do a side-by-side firing, and hopefully it doesn't involve actual fire. See you next time. Thanks for hanging out.